I'm here again with, you recognize this face if you've seen my videos, Carey, the Shelby Guru, the Shelby Whisperer. We've got my 2020 Shelby GT500 carbon fiber track pack up on the rack, and boom, new transmission. What do you think of this project?
Not too big.
Not too big.
Well, not too worrisome.
We're about to find out. Here we go. Thanks for watching. All right, let's talk about why I'm getting a new trans. First of all, my trans works great. You know, I drive this car a lot. But if you see back here, it's all wet. Back up in there, it's got a slow leak in a non-serviceable area. So it's always wet on the back side. You can see all up in there. Let's see. Yeah, and there's some trans fluid there. So, a new tranny. All right, Carey, you taking the exhaust off first?
Yeah.
To get access, makes sense.
Start with the rock catcher.
The rock catcher, yes. The closeout panels full of rocks. Taking off heat shielding.
Yeah.
Taking off the bottom closeout panel up front. All right, in order to get the closeout panel off, you got to take the bottom piece of the splitter out. In order to get the bottom piece of the splitter out, you got to get the splitter wickers off. If your car has those. Splitter wickers and the bottom piece of the splitter are off. There's the bottom piece of the splitter. Now you can get access to the bolts in the front of the closeout panel. All right, Mr. Carey, what you doing now?
Took the trans fluid lines loose, and then I'm going to go ahead and take the Driveshaft heat shield off.
Okay.
Socket to fit on.
24 millimeter socket, taking off the that's the Driveshaft heat shield. Kind of weird nuts on those.
Something along those lines, something that I don't quite understand.
Driveshaft heat shield. Marking the drive shaft to the rear there?
Yes.
Nice.
You would do it up front if we weren't replacing the trains.
Okay, yeah, right. Parts are accumulating. Closeout panels, shielding, new trans. All right, what you doing down there, Mr. Carey?
Disconnecting trans lines.
Disconnecting trans lines. Transmission cooler lines. What you doing up there, Carey?
Pulling the starter off to get it out of the way of.
Pulling the starter off?
Yes.
Okay.
Just want to clear up room.
Nice.
Pull out the trans lines as easily as possible to prevent from tweaking them.
Okay. What you working on now, Mr. Carey?
Moving the trans cooler bracket out of the way.
Trans cooler bracket out of the way. And then over here we have the starter and trans cooler lines removed. All right, time to remove the cats. And sometimes these upper, is it a bolt or nuts?
It's a nut on a stud. The stud is through the cat.
Sometimes they're a pain in the ass, huh?
Yes. Oh, that one's bad.
Ah, good. All right, cats are coming out. -1 cat. -2 cats. Drive shaft coming out. Working on the manual park override. Getting to that release from underneath the car. All right, Carey held the override, which is spring loaded, and then we rotated tire to get the drive shaft rotated so we can get to the bolts that were up on the top, which are now on the bottom, and working on getting the drive shaft out. There was a little bit of a battle, but the drive shaft is out. Be careful with that because they're supposed to be scrapped if dropped. So Carey just pointed out a fun little Easter egg. The rear trans mount here. Booyah! All right, Carey, what's the challenge of getting stuff off the top there? What are y'all working on?
There's just no room. Just squeezing my hand up there.
And how many connectors are up there?
It's not necessarily the connectors. So, I mean, there is the park override cable is one, and then the transmission vent tube I got pushed off, and then there's a wire harness that covers one of the bell housing bolts.
Oh.
The harness has enough slack that I can, once I pull the bell housing bolts out, I can drop the trans just a little bit.
Okay.
And then pull my harness off of the trans.
I'm looking at this, the new trans over here. It looks like there's 2 harnesses up top.
There's
Yeah.
well, there's one main harness, but the harness runs over,
okay.
over this bolt
Ah.
and then down, and then this is your trans vent.
And then there's a plug here and a plug here.
Yes. Oh, and these are plugs as well.
Oh, okay. Oh, look at that. I didn't know what those were. All right. To get all the connectors off the top.
I haven't taken the connectors off. I've taken the bell housing bolts, and we're going to see if they'll separate.
Okay. It's got the hoist. So you can drop the training down just a bit and then get the wiring harnesses off. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a little tension on the shaft.
Yeah. Just trying to get it to.
All right.
I do the back and forth wiggle,
Yeah, yeah.
break it free.
There's all those hard to get to wires. Connectors. It's all one harness with multiple. How many connectors are up there?
I didn't count.
A lot.
One bulkhead, 3 what look like speed sensor, and 1 position sensor.
So 5 total?
Yes.
Okay.
And then a plethora of push pins.
Oh, fun. Well, there it is. It's out. All right, taking a look at the one that just came out. Carey just pointed out that the part number changed. You said change?
The old one was the part number ended in AJ, where the old one was Alpha Henry, and then this one's Alpha Junior.
So AH to AJ, huh? Old to new?
Yes.
All right. All right. New kid on the block. All right. General plan of putting this sucker back in? Lift it?
Lift it, line it up, and we may have to turn the crank a little bit to get the splines lined up for the input shaft.
Okay.
And other than that, it's...
And then trying to get all those damn connectors from the wire harness?
Well, they plug in a whole lot easier than they unplug.
Oh, okay, that's good news. All right. All right, here goes nothing. That's the manual park override cable?
Yes. And I went ahead. I just have a bolt, which they have a stay-in part bolt, essentially, so that
Yeah.
when they ship it, they put a bolt in here. I put a longer bolt in there, so it'll be out of part, and I can rotate the drive shaft
Aha.
while I'm installing it, and then I can just reach up there and
Smart.
pull the bolt.
Yeah, yeah. What are you reaching up there for?
The top valves and bolts, getting them started in the engine, and kind of lining up wiring harnesses and such on top of the motor, or on top of the trains.
All right. With the weight of the trans on the engine, it's kind of sagging down, which gives you access there.
Yes.
Helpful.
Use the trans as a little bit of counterweight and pull the motor backwards. And
Yeah. All right, here comes the long extension. There's 2 bolts up at the top
yeah.
on the bell housing. All right, got the rear transmission mount back in place. Got all the connectors connected up on top there, Mr. Carey. All the electrical connectors.
All the electrical connectors and push pins back in place. Ready to
Lift it up and connect it.
lift it up and
Put the bolts in.
put the bolts in for the rear transmission.
All right. $35 pounds of torque. Top ones, you just got to make tight because you can't really get up there with a torque wrench.
New gasket.
New gaskets and what? New what?
New nuts.
New nuts. All right. Cats and I guess the cats will go back on. Tightening down the nuts on the cats.
Yes.
Are they easy to get to? Okay.
No.
No.
One of them, well, I mean, 2 of them are not. 3 of them aren't bad. One of them,
Pain in the ass.
the passenger side upper one, is no fun.
Torquing the tranny mount bolts.
It torqued to 46 foot-pounds.
26 foot-pounds.
46.
Oh, 46. Thanks. Putting new seals on the transcooler lines. All right. What are you doing up there?
We got the starter on.
Nice.
Trans lines on. Everything needs to be torqued, and here forward should be about ready to go.
Well, shit.
Well, I mean, there's a hole under.
Oh, yeah, they're, disregard that. I know what you meant, though, yeah. Outstanding. Drive shaft going back in. What's the torque on those guys?
76 foot-pounds.
All right. Torquing down the bolts on the drive shaft. Having to hold the rear tires in place, keep them from spinning. Did all the fronts, did 3 on the back side here, and now pulling the trans park override and gonna lock it in place.
There we go.
Nice. And then you can tighten the other 3, which are on the bottom. We oriented those properly first. Drive shaft heat shield going in. And you said what size socket? 20 what?
24 millimeter.
24 millimeter goes on there. Torquing all the bolts for the cooler lines. Are those for the brackets?
For the brackets as well as the tube in the transmission.
All right. Got the heat shielding back in place on, I guess, the driver's side.
Driver's side and the passenger side's on as well.
Oh yeah, oh, disregard. Yeah, back here. I was looking up over here.
So
Nice.
exhaust, and
The closeout panels.
I think we're gonna fire it up before we do that.
Okay, smart. Yeah. Got the car down from the lift and reaching in from the top to connect the transcooler line. Is that what you're doing down there?
Yes. Well, I'm gonna put the clip on first.
All right. All right, time to fire it up. Moment of truth. Well, it's running. We pulled the negative battery cable, so we lost all the data. Car has 9,300 miles on it. All right, we just ran the engine for 7 minutes. I cycled the rear tires to drive and then reverse, make sure everything's functioning properly. And the 7 minutes is to get the coolant or the trans fluid to cycle through the coolers. And now we're going to top off the transmission. All right, filling up the trans. I'm gonna move this to catch when it comes out. Right there. Topping it off. Looks like it's taking a fair amount of fluid.
I started with 3. I don't think we'll need more than 3, but...
And it came full, but you know, once you connect it to the lines and run it through all the plumbing, then it's no longer full.
Yeah.
All right, it's running out, it's full. Any idea? Maybe it didn't even take a liter, did it?
No.
Okay.
A quarter of a liter, maybe.
Awesome. All right, Carey's putting all the closeout panels, splitter wickers, front and back panels, all back on the car, buttoning it up. Looking complete again. Just need some wickers. Coming down. I believe the project is done. All right, Mr. Carey, which programming?
The transmission TR-ID, I think is what they called it.
Okay. This is a 2020, so you're using IDS.
Yes. 21 and 22 use FDRS,
Okay.
which is Ford's newer diagnostic software.
And then you take a picture there. Yes. And you gotta put that in there. Okay.
Okay, we have 11 digits.
Success?
Yes.
Okay. Looks like it worked.
I'm going to clear DTCs and then you can go take it for a spin around the block.
Okay.
Make sure it doesn't,
Explode.
explode. That's our man. That's top of the list.
All right. All right. Well, I just went for a test drive, and the trans didn't fall out. The exhaust didn't fall out. It shifted. I think it's a success.
I think it worked.
This is the Shelby Guru. Thoughts on this project on changing a trans out on these cars?
Wasn't too bad at all.
Wasn't too bad at all. We took a good portion of the day.
Yeah, but it was nothing about it was difficult or extraordinary.
Other than getting the little stuff on the top up there.
That wasn't fun. But, That's not abnormal.
Another home run. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching.